Hello everyone, welcome to this video. What I'd like to talk about today is Python and Python Flask. There's going to be a series of videos that I'm going to create to talk about how to create websites and web applications with Python Flask. As you may or may not know, Python Flask is a micro framework or a small framework. Doesn't mean it's any less powerful than anything else. It's just considered a micro framework. But what I wanted to talk about today involving Python Flask is where you can find information about it. I may not show it in my videos, but there will be times when you can use several different information and stuff to reference Python Flask and Python itself. So what I'd like to first do is, you see my website here. I'd like to go over, number one, where you can download Python if you're not already familiar with that. And each of these links I'll go ahead and include in the video description so that you can easily get to it. But the first one is going to be python.org. Alright, and of course you go here to download Python itself, whichever is the latest version. It may be different by the time you look at this video, but that's the first place where you want to go to and look up Python information, downloads, documentation, community, other things like that. The other thing that you want to do is you want to get very familiar with the Python modules. Python modules are libraries and functions that you can use to create and make your Python application or Python software programming more usable, and it's easier and it's friendly to use. So where you want to go to for that is going to be PYPI.org. If you want to look or do research on different Python modules, this is where you probably want to come, because you type, if you know the module name, you just type it in. For us, we're going to be dealing mostly with Flask, so you just type in FLASK, press enter, and then right here you'll see the module name. Usually it's the first one. It may be somewhere further down in this list, but this is the first one that we're going to be dealing with right here. Okay, this is Flask 2.0. Since this video has came out, Flask has done an upgrade, and this is the newest version. Depending on when you get this video, this version will obviously be upgraded to a newer version. We'll try and keep up with that as applicable. And let's see here. Another reference that you may want to look at, you may want to go to the Python Flask blog, and I got the link for that. That's going to be right here. This is their blog. This is a blog about the Flask application and all of the dependencies and smaller applications that comes with it. I'll include this link in the description as well. You may want to come here for Python update or Flask updates and new information on how to use Flask, how to deal with it, and things like that. So this is another place you're going to want to probably come. And let's see, I probably got a few more things that we can come up to. Well, looks like that's it for now. So I just wanted you guys to know about these references. I won't be including them in every video that we talk about dealing with Python Flask. So what you'll probably want to do is go ahead and download or save these links And then as you look at my videos in the future, you'll want to refer back to them, because I'll be referring back to them on a number of occasions. But I thought that would be very important to let you know where I'm getting a lot of my information from. And these 3 sites are it. This is where I get a lot of my information. I use Linux. A majority of the applications that I run and I create is going to be on Linux. But Python is easily portable. It easily runs on any operating system, whether it's Linux, Windows, or Apple. But the information is what's valuable here, and this is what I want you to get from this video. These links here, these links are going to be very important. We're going to rely heavily on them, even if we don't refer to them. So I'll go ahead and include these links in the video. In the video description, I would highly suggest that you get them, save them, and refer back to them from one point to another. So, also I wanted to let you know that when we're dealing with Python Flask, it's a very good framework. It's a very good application for building websites and web applications, but you will need to learn other programming languages in order to use Flask. You're going to need to know what HTML is, hypertext markup language. You're going to need to learn how to manipulate it and configure it and put on there what you want. You're also going to need to learn about CSS, as cascading style sheets. That shows you how to, that helps you to make your website look pretty, look pretty and not so text-like. You'll be able to put in these links and these tabs and stuff like that. You'll be able to do that with CSS. And then finally, you should look into learning about JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is what's going to make your website more functional. Alright, you're going to be able to move things, have moving pictures and things like that. That's what JavaScript is for, amongst other things. So you should also keep that in mind. Now, for Java, well, let's start with HTML. For HTML, the way I learned it very quickly is I went to YouTube, right? And again, I will include these links as well in the video description. But if you look for a guy named Jake Wright, there he is, and then look up his HTML series. This is it right here. You'll see this right here, learn HTML in 12 minutes. And then he's got another one, learn more HTML in 12 minutes. These are very short videos, and these videos will help you learn HTML quickly. Alright? And then he also has videos on CSS. You'll want that video as well if you're not familiar with CSS. And then he has a video on JavaScript. Let me see if I can find that one real quick. He also has PHP, but here's JavaScript too. You don't really need PHP, of course. But if you're going to use Flask, you will need to be familiar with those 3 technologies: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I would suggest you highly look at his videos. Now, I also have videos on those as well, and you can go to my YouTube site and you just type in Ubuntu Max Full. There you go. You can see it. That's the first one right there. I got videos on as well HTML. I got videos on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all 3 technologies. Those three technologies are the basics of all websites. You need to learn those at the very minimum if you're going to be some type of a web developer, whether it's on front end or back end. So I will also include my links as well in the description. And one other thing that will help you. Some of you may or may not know about this place. This is called W3 Schools. And with W3 Schools, that's a very good resource for learning those three technologies too. They teach you, let's see, if we go to tutorials, they also teach you HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as well as other languages, including Python. Okay? So you'll want to learn all three of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript at the very minimum. And then after that, you might want to learn Bootstrap. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, those are what is known as front-end technologies. And then Python is known as a back-end technology. With Python, you use Python scripting to control how your web server or your server looks at and serves your applications. So you'll want to have a basic knowledge of all those technologies before you start trying to delve into Python Flask. That's not an absolute, but that's my humble opinion. So thank you very much. That is the end of this video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.